Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning into another Supatease video. And do you want to play a simple composition that does massive damage with an easy to understand strategy of targeting the healer and running them down? Then I've got a composition for you here today. And no, it's not the composition that I am playing. It is the composition that I am playing against. I don't know where this composition came from, why it was sleeper for so long, but now that a lot of balance druids are trying this Kindred Spirits on a Necrolord, it seems like the other Druid specializations are getting a little bit more cheeky with the Kindred Spirits as well. The Feral Druids are opting to run Kyrian and Kindred Spiritsing their Necrolord Warriors, providing them that massive boost of 16% versatility. This composition did an unfathomable amount of damage, an unhealable amount of damage, in a lot of situations unrecoverable. We could not beat them the entire night that we were queuing. We got so desperate here in the final game that I even ended up giving my Kindred Spirits to my Resto Shaman Sidu to give him 16% more versatility, and even with that was not durable to withstand the storm that was this Feral Druid Arms Warrior Discipline Priest composition. So I'm just going to run you through what we tried to do to survive this and maybe persuade you into giving it a try if you haven't at this point. It seems like there are a lot of sleeper specializations and sleeper compositions now waking up since we can start playing a little bit more alts. So we're getting a lot more variety on the ladder, and this is one that if you haven't played in a while, I'm imagining like Vive or maybe Taliesin or something like that, wanting to run this Feral Druid Arms Warrior composition and run down some Shamans. You can definitely come back to the game and do that if you want to. So our strategy here against this comp is to post up our healer, who we know is going to be the target, out in the open in a far back corner. So here on the balcony on Empyrean Domain, we're going to have our Resto Shaman posted up. This way the Resto Shaman is in our line of sight at all times to try and survive and assist with crowd control and peels. And even with that, we weren't able to outdo them, which was surprising. We start with a Solar Beam on the Priest. They're running Night Fate. They're going to blink out of it, which is unfortunate for us. But still, we're going to pop all of our cooldowns. We were just trying so hard to scare them away from going onto our Resto Shaman. We just want them absolutely nowhere nearby. So we pop everything and we get Trinket, Die by the Sword from the Warrior immediately, which is good. At least now we're going to be able to put up a threat towards the Warrior. And then I'm looking for Cyclones as the Priest is just kind of running on top of us. And we want to still be posted out here. And the main reason we want to be out here is because look where the Priest has to go. We can Cyclone the Priest, we can off heal, we can Cyclone the Feral. Everything's in our line of sight and we can help support to the best of our ability. So the main strategy was to target down the Warrior, remove the Feral Druid from allowing them to heal as much as possible so that the Priest would run out of mana, or we could blast down the Warrior. That was the main strategy here. Now, while they're posted up here, I'm just knocking them around with Typhoon, trying to peel for my Shaman, and they do ultimately connect here. And you can see Necrolord banner active, so we imprison the Feral Druid. We try and use our imprisons to stop their damage on their goes. So using imprison here defensively, we're running Fairy Swarm so we can disarm the Warrior on their goes here, and we use our AoE stuns to protect our Shaman while our Shaman is in a stun. And that is kind of the main goal of the comp. Afterwards, we still have to drop Darkness. You can see that Kindred Spirits currently rolling onto the Warrior from the Feral Druid, and look at him just chunking down through Darkness. It's an insane amount of damage. Like, you definitely want to try this pairing if you haven't already between an Arms Warrior and a Feral Druid. This feels like the old days Kitty Cleave where you just could run people over. Finally, we get a Cyclone on the Feral, but we're still struggling to even get pressure. The healing from the Priest with no crowd control is quite a lot of support. So it's going to be pretty challenging for us. We can utilize Hibernate too if we need to try and alleviate some of the Feral Druid pressure. You can see that they don't entirely like this strategy of just running at the Shaman with our positioning because they don't want to overextend too far. The Warrior's going after the Demon Hunter, but it also might just be a bit of a bait tactic. They're still waiting for their cooldowns before they do their next big go. I'm saving my Empowerment here. I'm going to be using that to try and protect my healer with it rather than using it just to boost my damage, although I would like to get it double dipped where it's boosting my damage as well as protecting him. So he's in a stun here. We're going to use Solar Beam. We're going to Empower. This is going to give that big extra boost of versatility, and it should make our Shaman a lot more tanky in this position and allow us to easily survive the stun lock. Then we swap to the Priest, who is just playing out in the open. So this ended up feeling a lot better, swapping between the Priest and the Warrior. And we end up forcing the Priest away. We can clone the Feral to prevent the Feral from doing any more damage and prevent them from healing the Priest. We can kind of cleave down the Warrior. Our shaman lands a nice combination of roots here. I think Sidu was even running the root talent to try and peel them as much as possible in his honor talents, and that was still not enough. But going after the priest felt a bit better here as we get the priest at 37%. I'm able to hit the warrior, so kind of a split damage strategy. I think the next time if we were to play, or if I were to play this composition, that's what I would want to try and do, is split up a bit, go after the healer. But you can see they're about to pop that Kindred Spirits, and when that Kindred Spirits goes up, it's going to be a lot of trouble. We use Imprison on the warrior here defensively during the Warbreaker. We stun the Feral Druid. We prevent them from attacking during the Warbreaker. We can cleave down the Feral Druid while the priest is trying to drink. And try and counter pressure. That can be a good way of trying to stop a healer from drinking, is just by popping cooldowns and going for a win. But you can see them targeting the shaman. They've obviously got that Kindred Spirits. They want to pull the trigger on it, and they are going to do an explosive amount of damage, even with all of the interception that I am running right now, by spamming out these clones onto the Feral Druid, by spamming out the Hibernates, by using the disarm on the warrior, trying to slow down their assault, slow down their reconnect, stall it as long as possible, killing down their war banners so that they can't avoid as much crowd control as possible. We're doing everything that we can to be able to stabilize here, and it just probably won't be enough as they go for Sharpened Blade, Bash, Mind Control. I think Cedar trinkets this and breaks my Mind Control so I can try and help and assist again. And I think it's right around now where we see a huge explosion of damage. So I go for a Cyclone on the Priest, thinking that Sidu's fine. He's not stunned, right? And then I panic empower him, and he just gets two-chopped. I use In-Cap Roar. I'm doing whatever I can to slow down the incoming pressure, but the interrupts are endless. Priest purges off my versatility buff, which is a good countermeasure to that. In fact, actually probably something that we should maybe aim to do in the next round is to try and purge off that empowerment buff. But every time they went for that empowerment, just look at the devastation. Like, we're watching this on slow motion, right? This is half speed. I think it might be even less than half speed of the actual match. So you're watching it like in slow motion. That huge chunk of damage comes in way faster when you're watching this at full speed. But this is a really fun composition, I think, that if you haven't tried to play yet, the Feral Druid, Arms Warrior, Discipline Priest is going to add in a little bit of extra damage as well to spice it up. But I think you could run with other healers. I'm trying to like imagine a Earthquake Ellie Resto Shaman with this composition, just running people down with all their cooldowns rolling. And having all the support and the backup of the Feral Druid is going to make it very scary. It's going to make it very deadly, and it's going to make it a ton of fun if you're looking to smash people. So I know there's a lot of Ret Warriors out there, like maybe a couple Turbo Cleaves, Jungle, and stuff like that, but there are definitely other compositions. If you've been looking to try something different that you need to keep your eyes on, this is one of them. It's definitely a sleeper comp, Underdog, or maybe Undercat. I know it was a bad joke. Discipline Priest, Feral Druid, Arms Warrior. But other than that, if you enjoyed the video, please leave it with a thumbs up. Comment down below with your thoughts. What kind of compositions have you been seeing on the ladder? What's looking good to you moving forward into 9.2? And do remember that I bring patch note updates here on the channel whenever they go out in real time. So if you want to stay up to date in the know and the now with everything World of Warcraft and enhance your experience and maximize your enjoyment, then make sure you hit the subscribe button. It's absolutely free, and it just notifies you when that content comes out live, as well as I pump out these guides and I pump playthroughs. So if you're looking to improve your gameplay overall, this is going to be a great channel and a great resource. At least I aim it to be for you to utilize. If you'd like to follow me live, twitch.tv/Supatease. I'm streaming every day at 11 a.m. PST, and I'm doing viewer games at that time. So if you want to farm honor, if you want to push your rating, I think I'm now close to helping 70 people get to their desired ratings at this point. So if you've been struggling to find partners, you're sick of LFG, you want a place to hang out and grow your skills and then push your rating a bit higher, maybe farm a little bit of gear and have a little bit of fun, then check me out there. And I do the evening streams whenever I can get high rated games like this. So if you want to watch me performing at the highest level that I can, then you'll be able to watch those streams in the evening. Other than that, thank you very much for watching the video. I will see you in the next one.